Hello and welcome to another episode of Ask GamesRadar, where you guys have the questions and we have the answers. And this week it's going to be a little bit different. The question is going to come from me, Greg Henniger, and we are now in our deliberations for Game of the Year. 2013 is coming to a close, and so we are getting that ball rolling on what the Game of the Year is actually going to be and all the contenders and things like that. But I wanted to give you a little inside scoop on what everyone's favorite Game of the Year is. Now, this is different from our Game of the Year award. We are going to be asking the staff what is their favorite game that they played this year.
So my personal favorite game of the year has got to be Guacamelee by Drinkbox Studios. It's an indie Metroidvania where you play as a luchador who's down on his luck and happens upon an awesome magical mask and gives him a bunch of really cool combat powers that also act as platforming abilities. So I loved how tightly designed it was, and I loved how all of the abilities were useful in multiple ways, and also had tons of really funny in-jokes and nods to other indie games and things like that, so you should definitely check it out if you haven't already.
Ooh, Game of the Year. This is really hard for me because I really loved Tomb Raider when I played it earlier this year, and once I started playing Mario, that was really amazing, and I started playing Legend of Zelda, and that was really good, and I spent so much time with Animal Crossing. It's really hard. It's probably like one of the above.
My favorite game of the year is The Last of Us. I was not expecting to be taught something about storytelling in video games in such an abrupt and jarring way at the end of the game without spoiling anything. Definitely worth a play. Fantastic. Amazing.
My favorite game of the year is Fire Emblem Awakening. So I've always loved Fire Emblem. The strategy elements make me play it for hundreds and hundreds of hours. But this one had the added element of not just leveling up the fighters, but leveling up relationships. I kept playing the game until every character was married, even children from the feud.
That is a great question, Greg. And by the way, you're looking great today. I would have to say Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is my personal favorite game of the year. Even the multiplayer elements of that. Hunting people while you're currently being hunted. And I mean, sea shanties, there are sea shanties sung to you whenever you want. It's the best day of your entire life.
Game of the Year, BioShock Infinite. Completely awesome. Story blew me away. I thought it was just going to be some regular mediocre story, first-person shooter. It was a lot more than that. I'm actually going to go back and play the first and the second again after playing this one just to get a little bit more of the story.
My favorite game of the year is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, just because, you know, there's pirates and you get a ship and it's totally different than all the rest of the Assassin's Creed games. It's freaking awesome.
Biggest shocker this year was Tomb Raider. It taught me to love Lara Croft again. I had written off this. I was never even a fan of Tomb Raider. I thought the whole Lara Croft as like the sex symbol was stupid, but that game was legitimately fun, and it made me, for the first time, love Lara Croft. And probably the most fun I've had playing a game this year.
So I gotta say Tomb Raider was my personal favorite just because the gameplay was amazing. For me, it's on the same level as Batman Arkham City.
My favorite game of the year is probably Battlefield 4. I didn't expect to get as hooked as I did, and now I cannot physically stop myself from playing. I won.
All right, well, that was our personal favorite game of the year. Let us know in the comment section down below what your personal favorite game of the year is. It doesn't necessarily have to be the game of the year, just your favorite game that you played this year. Also, keep an eye on GamesRadar.com because we're going to be having our Platinum Chalice Awards and also the very coveted Game of the Year Awards coming to GamesRadar.com. So make sure you check out the whole website all this week. If you guys have any questions that you want to see answered in next week's episode, make sure you leave them in the comment section down below. And make sure you like, subscribe, do all those great things to our social media channels, and we'll see you next time.